It's just a few steps. A few steps for tradition. A few steps for innovation. A few steps for my family, friends, and neighbors. The ones who do the little things and the bigger than big things. A few steps so we can all stay connected and live better lives. So we all can prosper. And just a few steps for the courage, commitment, and dedication of all the Touchstone Energy Cooperative members who got us here. It's just a few steps. Learn more about the power of your co-op membership at touchstoneenergy.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Ed Gullickson from the Amory area, president of your Polk Burnett Board of Directors. I'd like to welcome you to the 83rd annual meeting of the Electric Cooperative. We are meeting online today for public safety. Yes, we're seeing some light in this pandemic, but we sure don't want to put anyone at risk. We are planning to host a Member Appreciation Day in person, August 13th. But today we are grateful for this technology that allows us to connect with you. Our annual meeting is an essential requirement of our co-op business model and an important way for co-op members, directors, and employees to communicate with one another. Today's annual meeting includes a cooperative report by General Manger Steve Stroshane, results of the 2021 board election, and member question and answer forum, giving you an opportunity to make comments and ask questions through the online chat. You'll find the chat box on the left side of your screen. Below the chat tab is a small section that reads, "Enter your chat text here." Then click the send button after typing your message. We intended to share two bylaw amendments with you today. One on director qualifications and another on annual meetings. But we have removed that agenda item because our official meeting notice did not clearly identify the purpose of those two bylaws. Just to clarify, this is nothing wrong with the bylaw amendments themselves. They were deferred to our 2022 annual meeting, and we will do a better job of communicating the purpose of the amendments. We appreciate the effort that has gone into making this meeting happen. And I'd like to take a few moments to thank the following people. Our team from Wind Technologies, who has been so instrumental in making our online meeting possible. Attorney Tim Laux for assisting with the board election and requirements of this annual meeting. The board of directors for their hard work and dedication to the co-op throughout the year. Polk Burnett employees for their service throughout the year, especially during the health pandemic. And most importantly, you, the members of Polk Burnett Electric Cooperative. We would not be what we are today without each of our members. You are why we are here, why we work hard every day to keep the lights on. Thank you. We thank each of you for participating in this unique format. Our bylaws state that the number of members to constitute a quorum at a meeting of the members shall be 50. Since we have more than that registered at our meeting this afternoon, we have a quorum. So I'll officially call this meeting to order. The official notice of the annual meeting, pictured here for you, was mailed to all Polk Burnett Cooperative members in the May power lines in accordance with Article 5, Section 3 of the Polk Burnett bylaws. The meeting was also announced on our website and Facebook page and by email invitation to members. Official proof of this mailing is available for anyone seeking verification. You will find a copy of the minutes from the 2020 annual meeting in the resources box. You can access resources by clicking on the resources box on the right side of your screen. Please take a minute to open and review the 2020 meeting minutes. I'd like to waive the reading of the meeting minutes if there are no objections posted in the chat box. I will wait a short period of time for that to happen if you so wish. I will waive the reading of the minutes at this time. Next, are there any additions or corrections to these minutes? If so, please enter them in the chat box at this time. I will wait a minute for your response. Okay, we have an objection to not reading the minutes, so I will read the minutes as requested. Wednesday, July 8th, 2020, minutes for the 82nd annual meeting of the members. The 82nd annual meeting of the members was held virtually on Wednesday, July 8th, 2020, an in-person meeting was not held this year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The business meeting began at 1 p.m. Edward O. Gullickson, President, Board of Directors, opened the meeting by welcoming the members and declaring a quorum was present with 193 members in attendance. President Gullickson read the official notice of the meeting. The 2019 minutes were received as published. The meeting was recorded and will be made available on the Co-op's website in 1 week. General Manger CEO Steve Stroshane provided a State of the Cooperative report. Mr. Stroshane reported on the cooperative service and reliability during the COVID-19 pandemic. The July 2019 storm caused widespread damage, power outages for 9,000 co-op members across Polk County. Polk Burnett linemen were assisted by crews from 11 neighboring co-ops and 3 contractors bringing more than 100 people to the local restoration effort. Total cost to repair storm damage across our system is $2.2 million to date. The storm led to a disaster declaration from the state of Wisconsin. Polk Burnett has submitted a claim to FEMA to help cover expenses to repair the electric system and clear the right-of-way. Beyond storm repair, the cooperative invested $4.9 million to upgrade and maintain the electric distribution system in 2019. The system includes 1,717 miles of underground cable, 1,695 miles of overhead power line, and 38,000 poles. One major investment in upgrading substation equipment so power can be automatically rerouted during transmission line outage. Polk Burnett is financially solid, and the co-op is efficient and effective at holding down costs while providing members, owners with a reliable power and extraordinary service. After 11 years without a rate increase, rates will likely go up in 2021. In 2019, Polk Burnett retired $1.2 million in capital credits to more than 16,000 co-op members. The co-op showed $98 million in assets and $38 million in operating revenue for 2019. Consolidated net margins were $4.4 million. Polk Burnett sold just over 237 million kWhs of electricity, and the cost to purchase power was $19.3 million. Mr. Stroshane stressed that 57 cents of every dollar Polk Burnett collects goes to the cost of purchase power. The complete financial audit for 2019 is posted on polkburnett.com. The cooperative supports local youth and community by awarding $67,500 in scholarships to the sons and daughters of co-op members. The Operation Roundup program awarded $65,876 to 76 local nonprofit organizations. Co-op employees performed 634 hours of community service in 2019. System Counsel Timothy J. Laux announced the results of the 2020 membership election of directors from Districts 1, 2, and 3. The election was conducted by mail and web ballot with an election contractor survey and ballot systems. Election results were tabulated from ballots received on or before May 27, 2019. The certified results account for 1,188 ballots from 6,827 members, yielding a participation rate of 17.4%. In District 1, unopposed Cindy Thorman received 345 votes. There were 6 write-ins. Mrs. Thorman was elected as Director of District 1 for the 2023 term. In District 2, Mike Morris, incumbent, ran against Eric Vitalis. Mike Morris received 308 votes. Eric Vitalis received 155 votes. There were 4 write-in votes. Mr. Morris was reelected as the Director in District 2 for the 20 to 23 term. In District 3, unopposed Ed Gullickson received 339 votes. There were 3 write-ins. Mr. Gullickson was elected as Director in District 3 for the 2023 term. General Manger Steve Stroshane then answered questions from members during the member forum through the chat feature of virtual meeting. Questions and answers will be available on the co-op's website in 1 week. There being no further business to come before the membership, the meeting adjourned at 2:12 p.m. Attendance drawings for the 10 energy credits will be randomly drawn from all members who attended the annual meeting. Is there a motion to accept the minutes as read? All right, we have a motion to accept the minutes as read. We also have a motion, a second to that motion. So at this time, those in favor of accepting the minutes as read, please indicate on the check box, on the voting. Okay, the motion has been approved. At this time, we will move on to the introduction of the Board of Directors. Now I'm pleased to introduce your co-op Board of Directors. They are elected by you, the members, to represent you by setting policy and direction for the cooperative. Board directors are online with us this afternoon. Your co-op directors are, if you look at the photo, please, in the back row, left to right, District 8, Chuck Brookshaw of Webster. District 2, Mike Morris of Luck. District 5, Jeff Trainer of Balsam Lake. District 9, Tom Swenson of Webster. District 7, Jerry Okanek of Spooner. In the front row, left to right, District 6, Wilfred Owens of Frederick. District 3, Ed Gullickson of Amory. District 1, Cindy Thorman of Osceola. And District 4, Joe Mitro of Balsam Lake. I'd like to thank our board and employees for their dedication and contribution to the co-op. This is your co-op, and we work for you. Next, General Manager Steve Stroshane will share our state of the co-op report. Excuse me.
Good afternoon. I am Steve Stroshane, General Manager of Polk Burnett Electric Cooperative. Next, I'll provide you with an update on the state of the cooperative and our 2021 strategic goals. My report will highlight the co-op's financial condition, our efforts to upgrade the electric system and improve your power quality, and how we're making a positive difference in the community. I'll also share how your electricity is becoming cleaner and more energy efficient, making it a smart choice for reducing costs and carbon. First, I'll share a few basic co-op facts and figures. Polk Burnett Electric Cooperative has 21,164 electric services across our system. You're served by more than 3,400 miles of power lines across 2,000 square miles of service territory, including 1,800 miles of underground cable and just under 1,700 miles of overhead wire. We have approximately 38,000 utility poles on our system and average just 6 members per mile of line. The co-op employs 58 people at offices in Centuria and Siren. 50 are electric employees and 8 are propane employees. Together, the employees provide reliable power with efficiency and extraordinary service to you, our 21,000 member owners. Our Centuria lobby is open again, and our Siren office will continue to serve members through the drive-up window. During the past year, we've all adapted and learned to use technology to our advantage. The co-op offers electronic options for payments and transactions, including our Smart Hub app to access your account, track electricity use, view and report outages, and pay your bill. You'll also find 24/7 self-service on our website, and we recently introduced a pay-by-cash option that lets members pay their electric bill by cash at our local Dollar General and Family Dollar stores. And of course, co-op members can always connect with the live voice at the co-op. We know from survey feedback that our members appreciate and expect both technology that enables 24/7 service but also a live voice when needed. Speaking of member feedback, we'd like to thank you for expressing your support for the co-op on our annual member survey. Polk Burnett received an 84 on its 2020 ACSI survey. The American Customer Satisfaction Index is a standard measure of performance used by businesses and industries across the country. Our score increased 2 points over the past 2 years and is 12 points higher than municipal and investor-owned utilities. Our annual satisfaction survey was conducted last October by email, where we received more than 1,000 survey comments. 73% of those were positive. We also conduct surveys following member transactions with the co-op. If you receive an email survey, we appreciate your feedback. Your response helps us learn what's working, what we can do better, and how to plan for the future, so we thank you. We know your number one expectation of us is reliable power. The need for reliable power was apparent last February when severe cold overtaxed the electric grid in Texas, causing power outages and rolling blackouts. Extreme heat caused a similar situation in California last summer. Throughout the cold snap in February, I'm happy to report that our power supply was reliable with only a couple of small outages experienced. We're proud to be in the top 25% of co-ops nationwide for reliability. In 2020, co-op members experienced an average of less than 1 hour without power, when you factor out major event days. When major event days such as storms are included, our members experienced an average of 3.49 hours without power. We're always working to improve reliability, especially restoring power faster for those major events. One of our strategic goals is having one of the lowest outage rates in the state. We know that's what you expect of us. Our target is less than 1 hour of outages per member per year. In 2021, our work continues, and we will invest $5 million to upgrade and maintain a reliable electric system. Our 2021 work plan includes replacing 78 poles that didn't pass inspection, converting 22 miles of overhead line to underground cable, replacing 20 miles of aging underground cable, which is year 4 of 5 of this replacement program, constructing 13 miles of new overhead line, clearing trees and brush from the right-of-way to improve safety and reduce outages, and improving grid redundancy and substation equipment so power can be rerouted during an outage. Our mission will always be to provide reliable electricity, but weather, animals, accidental dig-ins, car accidents, and transmission line failures can cause outages beyond our control. If your lights go out, know that co-op crews are on the way to restore your power quickly. Our priorities are reducing the frequency and duration of power outages while keeping you informed as best we can. I'd like to remind you to follow us on Facebook, visit our real-time outage map, and sign up to receive outage texts. We know power outages are inconvenient, but it helps when you're informed by giving you the best information we have at the time, including outage cause and estimated restoration time whenever possible. Beyond our regular construction work plan, I'm excited to announce the co-op is working on an electric grid and meter upgrade to provide even better service and reliability for you. The upgrade includes deployment of a new metering system and remote controlled equipment in the field. Over the next 2 years, more than 26,000 meters across the system will be replaced with new technology. Existing meters are outdated and our supplier has stopped making replacement parts. While unfortunate, we see this as an opportunity to benefit the co-op and our members by replacing aging infrastructure, increasing system efficiencies, improving outage notification and restoration, and providing more energy information for our members. Watch for more information in the coming months and we'll be sure to notify you when we upgrade your meter. FAQs and information is on our website and here in the resource box for you. Another priority is controlling costs to avoid large, frequent rate increases. After 12 years without a rate increase, we know a rate increase is coming. The co-op is affected by the economic conditions of today. Just like you've experienced rising costs in gas, food, building supplies, we've seen rising costs in the materials we need to operate and maintain the electric system. We continue to invest in technologies to work efficiently and have deferred a rate increase for another year. But the reality is, we won't be able to push a rate increase down the road much longer. We are looking at a possible rate increase in 2022, and we will keep you informed. You'll find the complete financial report in the resources box. I'd like to share a few highlights with you. At the completion of 2020, your electric co-op had $100 million in assets, up from $98 million in 2019. Consolidated operating revenue of $36.7 million which was down slightly over the previous year, and net margins which were up slightly to $4.6 million. 238 million kilowatt hours of electricity were sold in 2020. The report also shows revenue of $32.6 million for electric operations and how those revenue dollars were spent. As we have reported in previous years, 57 cents of every dollar we collect goes to purchase power generated from Dairyland Power Cooperative. Our cost to purchase power in 2020 was $18.8 million. Polk Burnett does not own power plants. We buy electricity and distribute it to you, our 21,000 plus co-op members. We are one of 24 members of Dairyland, and what happens at Dairyland and in the power market has a significant impact on our cost. The remaining 43 cents is what we have to work with to build and maintain the power lines and to do the work we do to keep your lights on. When discussing revenue, it's important for you to know that revenue covers the cost of delivering power. Co-op rates are not set to generate profit, they cover actual costs. Our availability charge covers fixed costs for expenses like poles, wires, trucks, and transformers. Whether you use 1 kilowatt hour or 1,000 kilowatt hours, the lines, poles, and equipment have to be there for whenever you need electricity. We know that no one likes the availability charge, but it covers the cost of making power available at your location. These fixed expenses are shared equally by all 21,000 plus co-op members. And where some utilities have more members per mile to share those costs, we serve rural areas with lower population densities and have just 6 members per mile to share the costs. As a nonprofit electric co-op, we also give money back. One of the greatest advantages of co-op membership is capital credits. Money beyond expenses is always returned to members as capital credits. In 2020, we returned more than $1.6 million to co-op members. Beyond capital credits, Polk Burnett helps members conserve energy and save money by offering Energy Sense rebates on appliances, lighting, heating, and air conditioning, and more. In 2020, members received more than $187,000 in Energy Sense rebates, helping members save more than 1.25 million kilowatt hours of electricity. If you want to upgrade your home with more efficient appliances, contact our Member Services Department to learn how rebates can help you. I'd like to remind everyone that Polk Burnett supports the sustainable growth of alternative energy for our local membership. We're pleased to offer a growing renewable energy supply to our members with Dairyland Power Cooperative, our La Crosse-based power provider. Each year, Dairyland adds more solar and wind generation to reduce carbon emissions. At present, about 20% of the energy that flows into your home is from clean, renewable sources, and that number is increasing at a responsible rate. Part of Dairyland's sustainable generation plan is retiring coal plants when it makes sense to do so. In April, Dairyland's Genoa Station No. 3 completed its final day of operation following the depletion of its coal inventory. The power plant served the region safely and reliably for 52 years. Many factors were considered when making this decision, including the age of the facility, regulatory requirements, projected maintenance costs, overall cost of power production, and regional market prices for energy. This reflects our shared goal of being future ready for our members. For our members who are interested in solar and wind generation, we do offer rebates, or you can purchase renewable energy blocks through our Evergreen program. I can also report that our 10-acre Centuria solar array in our Centuria backyard generates approximately 2.2 million kilowatt hours of electricity annually, enough to power about 200 homes. You can view solar energy generation on polkburnett.com. With the new concept called beneficial electrification, we can all save money on energy costs and do our part to help the environment. Beneficial electrification means using electricity instead of fossil fuels to power our homes, tools, and transportation. As electricity from Polk Burnett and Dairyland becomes cleaner with less carbon emissions, anything that uses electricity has a diminishing impact on the environment. Over time, your electric appliances, water heater, clothes dryer, and even electric lawn and power tools have the potential to become greener. Choosing electric appliances, tools, and even vehicles is getting easier, with better options available every day. Our Marathon water heater is a great example. Electric water heaters are charged with low-cost energy at night, and hot water is stored for when you need it. If you're in the market for a water heater, we've got a great price for co-op members who choose electric, just $750. Or for new construction and when replacing a gas water heater, the cost is just $250. Electric vehicles are another example of beneficial electrification. Moving from gas to electricity reduces pollution and can help members save money with reduced fuel and maintenance costs. EVs also increase the co-op's energy sales, which is an important financial goal. We don't expect transportation to change overnight, but we're preparing for future growth by partnering with other cooperatives to form Charge EV. Charge EV is expanding the charging network across Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, and Illinois to help alleviate range anxiety and encourage EV adoption in rural communities served by cooperatives. Our Energy Sense program also offers an $800 rebate on a smart EV charger. We support EV owners and look forward to working with you to charge EVs in the most cost-effective way. Polk Burnett works hard to improve our local quality of life, not only with reliable power, but also with support for our local community. Each year, we're proud to support our community with Operation Roundup grants. Grants are funded by the generosity of you, our members who round up your electric bill. In 2020, Operation Roundup awarded more than $51,000 to 54 local nonprofits, including schools, fire departments, and libraries. A list of all 2020 Operation Roundup grants is in the resource box. Polk Burnett is also proud to award scholarships each year to sons and daughters of co-op members. In 2021, the co-op awarded $67,500 in scholarships to 54 students who each received $1,250 to attend technical school, college, or universities. $846,000 has been awarded since this program began in 1987. It's important to note that scholarships do not affect your electric rates. The scholarships are funded with unclaimed capital credits that otherwise would be forfeited to the state. Co-op members can also donate your future capital credits to support the scholarship program and co-op youth. Please give us a call if you'd like to make this change to your account. You'll find a list of the 2021 co-op scholarship winners in the resource box. As you've heard me say in earlier slides, reliable electricity is our number one goal. The outages that happened in Texas last winter are a reminder of how essential electricity is to the economy, as well as our comfort, health, and safety. We cannot let what happened in Texas happen here. In everything we do to improve reliability, we must also consider cost and protection of our environment. No one likes to pay more for electricity. We understand that reliable electricity must come at a responsible cost. And just like being a good steward of your dollar, the co-op must also be a good steward of the environment, again, at a responsible cost. As we look to the rest of 2021 and planning for 2022, our focus is to balance reliability goals with the goals of keeping costs down and carbon down. Reliability, affordability, and sustainability is a balancing act that your co-op board and I work at every day for our members. These are just a few highlights about the performance of your cooperative. As you can see, a summary of our 2020 outcomes on our at-a-glance flyer in your resource box. I invite you to read our Powerlines newsletter, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and visit our website often to stay in touch. On behalf of myself, the Board of Directors, and the employees at Polk Burnett, we would like to thank you for your support and your membership. We're proud to be your trusted source for reliable electricity and energy information. Now I'll turn the meeting over to Tim Locks, Co-op Attorney, for the results of our 2021 board election and bylaw amendments.
Good afternoon. My name is Tim Laux, Legal Counsel for Polk Burnett Electric Cooperative. I am charged with reporting on the procedure and results of the 2021 board election for Districts 7, 8, and 9. Directors are elected by the members in their districts for 3-year terms commencing later this month. The election was conducted by mail or web ballot with an independent election contractor, Survey and Ballot Systems. Election results were tabulated from ballots received on or before June 1st, 2021, according to the bylaws. The certified results account for the receipt of 1,074 ballots from 6,455 eligible members. 903 of the ballots received were paper ballots. 171 ballots were cast online. The participation rate is 16.64% in this year's Board of Directors elections. Now, pursuant to bylaw Article 5, Section 3B, I report as follows. District 7, Jerry Ochtanek ran unopposed and was elected for a 3-year term commencing with the June regular board meeting later this month. He received 450 votes. There was only one write-in ballot. 6 ballots were left blank and went uncounted. In District 8, Chuck Brookshaw, incumbent, ran unopposed and was re-elected for a 3-year term commencing with the June regular board meeting later this month. Brookshaw received 315 votes. There were 3 write-in ballots, 3 ballots were left blank, and 1 ballot was invalid and went uncounted. Invalid means a member voted for more than one candidate or didn't sign the ballot as required in the bylaws. In District 9, Tom Swenson ran unopposed and was re-elected for another 3-year term commencing with the June regular board meeting later this month. He received 283 votes. There were 8 write-in ballots. No write-in received more than 1 vote. 4 ballots were left blank and went uncounted. All the election materials will be retained through August 1st, 2021. After that date, unless there has been an inquiry or challenge to the results reported here today, all the election records and materials will be destroyed. On behalf of all the members, thank you to the candidates and all those who participated in the director election process. Now I'll turn the presentation back to General Manager Steve Stroshane for the member forum.
Thank you, Tim. Next, we'd like to hear from you. One advantage of co-op membership is democratic member control. meaning members have a voice in the way their electric cooperative operates. Your opinions and feedback give us all at the co-op a better understanding of what members want and need so we can provide you with the best service and plan for the future. We'd like to thank you for participating at the annual meeting today, and we'll address your comments and questions at this time. Please enter your comments and questions in the chat box. You'll find the chat box. I know there's been a lot of activity down there already, but you'll find the chat box on the left side of your screen. There are two tabs, chat and support. The chat tab is highlighted by default. Below the tabs is a small section that reads, enter your chat text here, then click the send button after typing your message. So we've already got a couple of messages that came in, and I'll start with those. And again, we had a good conversation last year during the Q&A, and as we go through this, you know, one of the things you heard in my report was surveying feedback and taking your feedback. So we take that very seriously here, and we appreciate the feedback that we get, good or bad. We're not perfect, and we do try to adapt when we find we're doing something wrong. So I'll start with the questions that we've got in the chat already. First one came from, I think, Mark Knight. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And the question was, why is there so many from Osceola that get scholarships? And that's a common question, and it varies by year, varies by district. But Osceola and Amory have probably two of the bigger districts in the service territory, two of the bigger school districts in the service territory, and the guidance counselors are very active in getting people to apply. So there's probably more applicants to start with in those districts. So the way we do the scholarship drawing, it's completely random. It's based on community service, so it's a pretty simple process. And then it's really random with 5 scholarships drawn per district. And if there's only 4 applicants in a district, that 5th scholarship gets thrown into a random drawing of everybody at the end. So you draw out the 5 per district, and then we have an additional 9 that go in just random drawing of everyone left over. So if you've got only 4 per district and you add 1 to the groups, you'd have 10 random drawings. And then it's just really odds. At that point, there's just more people from, you know, Osceola or Amory, or sometimes St. Croix Falls has a pretty big number. So I think this year it was 12 to Osceola, 10 to Amory, and 5 to St. Croix. But I know in previous years I've seen as much as 12 to St. Croix. So it really goes by the luck of the draw and the number that apply per school district. And even though Osceola is a big district, and it just doesn't have to be Osceola, but the bigger districts, they could stretch into more than one board district, or they might even have a seasonal, they might not be a permanent resident, but a seasonal member, and they might be in District 7, and someone from Osceola gets a scholarship. So it is completely random, and it's just probably goes to the quantity of students applying per school district. The next question was from Mr. Mike Schumann, and it was regarding the AMI project. And I'll try to read please explain why we need to spend $5 million upgrading meters. So the issue with that, and we have a lot of this detailed on the website and the FAQ, and I think it's also probably in our resource box, but we used to have self reads back in 1996. We'd send you a postcard, you'd write your meter reading down, you'd send that postcard back into us. So in 1996, that was our first meter reading system, and we found a more efficient way to do it. And we deployed a system starting in 1996, and it would take 27 hours for it to send in the meter reading, but it sure was faster than waiting for a postcard to be mailed in or having meter readers going around. In 2010, we upgraded to the next version of that system, and that's the one we're operating on now. And unfortunately, the vendor, as with all technology, I mean, that's what happened to our first system. They're just, the technology became obsolete. And I'm sure a lot of people see that in their own lives, that the speed of change and the speed of technological change is the challenge. And in this case, the vendor stopped manufacturing the equipment we needed in October of 2019. So as you suggest here, is there used equipment to extend the life of that? And we expect to need to extend the life of that system until 2022. And we've been using, just as you say, used components to do that at this point. So when, Cooperative XYZ retired their same type of system, retired that equipment, we were able to procure that and extend the life of ours. But it's really the speed of technological change, and there was less cooperatives using that style of equipment, and the technology was becoming outdated, and there's better technology. So the vendor quit manufacturing that style of equipment, and we were forced to upgrade, and we just can't keep limping along. It's a risk to do it because if we have, there's some key pieces, it just isn't meters, it's infrastructure behind that in our substations. And if one of those fails, we're out of commission for a long time without being able to get meter readings or outage reports. So we're excited. We're not excited about spending the $5 million, but we're excited about the increased functionality that we can get. With the first system, as I said, it would take 27 hours to get a meter reading in, and they improved that with the second generation. And with that second generation, the one we're using now, what we use it most for our operational purposes is outage reporting, and it takes 25 minutes, I think, 25 to 35 minutes to get a report of an outage in. And now with the new system, we can get that down to minutes, so probably even less. But it's something that we're excited. It's going to give us a lot more efficiencies, and those efficiencies help us keep to control the costs. So that's a long-winded answer to a short question, Mike, but I hope that added some additional detail to the frequently asked questions that we had. And then we had another question from Tom Swenson, just to clarify the availability charge slide with density. So this is what really has a direct impact on how we operate, just our density. When you compare us against an investor-owned utility, we have 6 customers per mile, and a lot of the investor-owned utilities have a much higher density. In addition to having more customers per mile, they have more commercial customers, period. So where our electricity sales are about 80% residential seasonal and 20% commercial, a lot of the IOUs are 50% commercial, 50% residential, or even probably more heavily weighted to commercial. But so that's our challenge. And so we're sitting at 6 customers per mile. Most cooperatives, that's probably maybe even a little above average for a cooperative. There's cooperatives that are less than that. So that kind of adds a little color to that slide. And I'm just scrolling down the chat list to see where we're at now.
Click on Teams. Click on Teams.
Okay, so the next question again from Mr. Schuman, why are these meetings being held on a Friday afternoon, making it difficult to people who attend? A lot of the feedback we got last year in response to that question was very positive from this virtual format. There was many comments last year. We do a survey after this, that this was the first meeting they were attending, to having it on a virtual format on the day that we picked. It just so happened to be Friday at 1 o'clock again. And we've experimented with that multiple times. We've tried evening meetings, we've tried lunch meetings, we've tried afternoon meetings, and we're always trying to get the most people. And one of the reasons it's virtual again this year, again, besides the pandemic, was the actual response we got from our survey and from the chat functions last year, that chat feature last year, that many people were interested in this format and the time worked. So that's why we're having it. It was good feedback last year, and we're always looking to get the most people to attend, and to have 100 and we had 100 and 98 people registered for this. I don't know the total that are attending here. We have some in-person attending for employees, and we have others that are logged in here, but I'm not sure what the final attendance is, but it was pretty good response last year to this virtual meeting. So same question about the Member Appreciation Day again. This is again from Mr. Schuman. Why not on a Saturday when some seasonal cabin owners can attend and make up 60% of the membership, or who make up 60% of the membership? So seasonal cabin owners, seasonal owners are about 40% of the membership. And, we've done it we haven't done a Member Appreciation Day on a Saturday. We've done annual meetings long ago on a Saturday. So Member Appreciation Day, we were just trying to get the day. Again, it's a challenge to try to pick the day to get the most people to attend. And, Saturday wasn't always the best day either. So it's just a challenge. We don't know what we've worked it in different ways. And Friday afternoons, and we were trying to get more families to attend is why we picked Friday during the summer. We used to hold the Member Appreciation Day in October, and we wanted to make it more of a family event, and that's why we picked a day in the summer. So normally we would try to hold that in conjunction with our annual meeting, but the last 2 years, obviously with the pandemic, we were forced to go into a virtual format. Okay, I hope that answers that question. So Mr. John Bailey, curious why with the pandemic highlighting the critical importance of broadband access, has PBEC investigated or had discussions about expanding into the broadband market? And the question of that is no. We work with a lot of local telecommunication companies here. We're fortunate to have that. And a lot of those are already doing fiber to the home, have fiber deployment projects. I know we do overlap with CenturyLink, CenturyTel. And there are some cooperatives that are looking at getting into the broadband business, but that really hasn't been a point for us because I don't want to leave out somebody, but I know Lakeland Communications, Farmers, SirenTel, Northwest Communications. I know they've all got fiber projects going on. We try to work jointly with them when the project works out to try to get the least cost implementation, whether it's electric or fiber. If we can work together, that's the best possible situation. It doesn't always work out, but we do have some good companies in the area. It is a challenge with CenturyLink, but we have not, again, a long answer to say we're not looking at getting into the broadband business, but thank you for that question. Next question on how the rebates for household appliances are determined. And I think we do, that really isn't an area. I can maybe post some information on that after the meeting. They do a kind of a payback calculation to know for this amount of rebate, do we see that amount of energy savings over X number of years? So there's a payback calculation that is performed to know what is the right amount of the household appliance rebates. I don't really have any more detail on that at this time, but we can try to post a little bit more information to that when we do our follow-up, because we will summarize these questions and we'll put them on the website. So if I miss something, we can clarify it there, or just in case you missed the meeting and you want to see what questions were asked and the answers, we'll have them written down on the website. That's what we did last year. What is the process for identifying my underground power? So the answer to that is, if it's the best way to do that is to call Digger's Hotline, and you'll go through the process. You can either do it through the call or either through their website, and you go through a process of identifying your property, where your property is, what type of work you're going to be doing, and then there will be they'll initiate what's called a locate ticket, and that locate ticket is sent to all the utilities that serve that area, and then they will come out their contractors will come out and mark their underground facilities. And it's very important to make sure that you do that, because it's dangerous and it's expensive if something gets dug into, because we have to go out and fix it, and it results in a power outage. But more than that, it's the safety. We don't want anyone hurt digging into anything that's electrified. Next question again from Mr. Schuman. How are we going to ensure that the new metering system also doesn't become obsolete in 10 years like our previous system? And why is an Xcel Energy having these kind of problems? I mean, you know, people are changing out this technology all the time. Xcel Energy, I know it was going out for, when we were talking to vendors, we knew Xcel Energy is going out for similar metering system upgrades too. The technology is just changing, and you have to keep up with the technology change. And we're finding, I mean, that's one of the challenges that we're finding here is it just changes fast. And, you know, you have to not only have the right technology, but you also have to have the people to operate that technology and train them. So it's an ongoing challenge, and other utilities are upgrading their metering systems also. Next question, if we're going to change the bylaws about director qualifications, why not permit seasonal cabin owners to be represented? So this is a question that's been asked by Mr. Schuman multiple years. And, you know, it's really the same answer. I think I put a lot of detail into notes on the website after last meeting. But, you know, it's been studied in the past at his request, and we have looked at it multiple times. We looked at it as frequently as last year when we went through all of our governance review last year. And we don't have special representation by class. We don't have a special representation for residential. We don't have a special representation for seasonal, for agricultural, for commercial, for large commercial. We have board members that represent all classes. And, you know, that's the answer we've given in the past. We've studied it. We've gone out and this isn't, we're not any different than a school board. We're not any different than a municipal board that require to be on the board that you be a permanent resident of the area. And I guess the one difference we do give when you compare us to the other boards is we give you a chance to vote for your director. And our directors today, I mean, they are the ones that serve heavily seasonal areas. They're on lake associations. They may own a cabin, even though they have a permanent address, they still have had cabins. So they have contacts with seasonal members. They have businesses that interact with seasonal members. So they represent all members, and that's what the conclusion we came to, and that's really in line with a lot of other cooperatives and school boards and municipal boards. So yeah, appreciate all the comments. I've been reading, trying to get to the questions, but I appreciate all the comments with regard to storm restorations. If you ever follow our Facebook page, we try to post some videos time and again what the line crews are up against sometimes. And there's a real good one. It's kind of hard to see, but I mean, December 23rd, had a blizzard, and it knocked a big line down in Farmington, just north of Somerset, one of our biggest circuits. And it was windy that day. It was during a blizzard, windy, and the wires were just galloping up and down. When you look at that video, if you find it in Facebook, it's just amazing what they have to deal with sometimes just to get this power back on. So I mean, it had to be 20 below, probably more wind chill, and they're out working in that, You couldn't even see the roads. The snow was blowing so hard, and they just did a nice job. And that's what they do, and that's the battle that they have to put up with. But that's their job, and it's our job to keep the lights on, and that's really what we're focused on. You know, when you look at, you know, we talk often about being the top 25% when we compare ourselves to others for reliability. And that's when you exclude what we call major events. And the storms we've had like in July of 2019, those are major events. One of our focuses now is, okay, we've pretty much done what we can do to operate the system, improve the system when we exclude major events. But now we're trying to get the power back faster when we have a major event. So that's the technology we're putting in next. So, so that's my comment on storm restoration and outages. And I see a couple other comments coming in. We are, okay, from Ms. Schaefer, we are part-time residents, but we pay our bill for service year-round. And I guess if that's a comment or a question, but yes, that's, I've given this analogy before that you know, whether you use 1 kilowatt hour once a year or 1,000 kilowatt hours a month, that's our average. Those lines, those transformers all have to be there all year long, whether you're there or not, whether you want to come up and flip the light on. I mean, the lines and the capacity and the trucks to maintain that all have to be there. So that's kind of how we've structured our rates. And yeah, I guess that's my response to that one. You know, a comment from Kurt Ekstrom. We talked about that option of one board member position as a seasonal member. Okay, well then do you have a board member for commercial, and do you have a board member for irrigation? And we've kind of looked at that, and then those same board members get to vote for. It just gets really convoluted if you're carving out board positions for each class of customer that you have, because everyone will want to be represented. So. But I appreciate the comment, and it was looked at when we looked at different options. How do we get Polk Burnett to look at burying the remaining overhead power line on our private road? The line begins aerial and from the main road and then gets buried. The line serves 17 homes and cabins, 5 of those cabins a year round. So we are, appreciate the comment. That is really, as you saw in our report of upgrades that we do each year, I mean, we're converting 20 to 25 miles from overhead to underground per year. And we just have to really consider a lot of factors of age of facilities to the load on that line. We probably got about 10 different factors that we consider when we determine what we're going to do and what we're going to do for construction in a given year. And we know we've been able to improve reliability, and we've got to that. We've increased the reliability mainly, well, through various means, but one of the big impacts is going from overhead to underground. And we do, I mean, that is in our vision. If I don't have a graph handy, but if I showed you the chart of the percent of overhead line versus underground, you can see the overhead line continuing to decline and the underground line continuing to increase. So it is something that that we are actively addressing, and it really just depends on, the biggest thing driving it is probably age of facilities and the accessibility. Not all line can go underground. The main lines have to stay overhead, as well as just terrain really dictates whether we go overhead or underground. Mr. Everhart, with the recent ransomware attacks on some critical infrastructure in the U.S., what does PBC have in place to avoid such a thing happening at the local level? And so my answer to that is cyber attacks is one of the things that definitely keeps me awake at night and is top of mind here. We are actively following best practices. The challenge there is, as you know, I mean, we're not going up against the hacker sitting in his basement doing it for something fun. We're really going up against, in a lot of cases, state-sponsored entities that are, you know, you look at even going back to the two biggest nationwide attacks. I mean, it's been state-sponsored stuff that have affected tens of thousands of businesses with cyber vulnerabilities, and it is a challenge, and it is something that we are addressing. We do have our network IT manager has additional certifications in cybersecurity, so we made the investment in staffing for that, but it is a challenge, and we're well aware of the threat, and it is a threat we're taking seriously. And I'm just trying to scroll down and see if we have any additional comments. So I guess last call for questions at this point. I'd like to, I guess, just make a couple closing comments. First of all, I'd like to thank Tim Locks, our system counsel, for this is his 30th year in service of the co-op as our attorney. So we appreciate Tim for his 30 years of service. Ed missed that in his introduction. And I also like to, on behalf of for myself and the board of directors and the employees, I guess we'd like to thank you, our members, and we do appreciate the feedback. We take that feedback. I'm an engineer by trade, so I do a lot of benchmarking, and I want to make sure this cooperative is performing as efficient as possible on behalf of you, our members. And we take those surveys seriously, and please give us your feedback, good or bad. We're not perfect. We make mistakes, but we do try to learn from those mistakes. But we do thank you for being our members. I guess I'd just like to also thank the employees. It's been a tough year, but we've gotten through it, and we've gotten through it hopefully storm-free. So normally I say that, and we're probably due for a storm this weekend, but I normally jinx myself when I say that. But we appreciate the employees and appreciate the members and your support of us. So I guess with that, we'll draw this part to a close. If you have any additional questions or comments, you can always contact the co-op by phone or through our website, and we're always happy to assist you. And again, thank you for participation in the co-op's 83rd annual meeting. So I guess just one last question came in. Is there grant options to help with the meter upgrades? And there is not. It is just the cost of doing business and upgrading our technology.
Before we adjourn today, I'd like to remind you to do the summer shift and sign up for Beat the Peak alerts again this summer to help save energy, reduce carbon, and lower costs. As you are aware, we've had 9, 10, 11 days of mid-90 degree temperatures with high humidity. And the cost of energy during this period of time is extremely high. So whatever you can do to lower your use is greatly appreciated and saves on costs. Please contact the office or visit our website for details on these programs. Also, mark your calendars for our Member Appreciation Day, Friday, August 13th. More information will be in your July power lines. At this time, do I have a motion to adjourn? I have a motion. Do I have a second to that motion? I have a second to that motion. Are there any opposed? Seeing none, the meeting today is adjourned. Thank you for attending. It was a great meeting. Thank you very much.